Trey Gowdy from WashingtonExaminer.com reporting this. Trey Gowdy. FBI withheld game changer transcript material from the FISA Court. Former Representative Trey Gowdy from South Carolina. Let me just check something here real quick. Says there are unreleased transcripts of recorded conversations between FBI informants and former Trump campaign associate George Papadopoulos that, quote, has the potential to be a game changer, he said, end quote. In a Fox News interview with Maria Bartiromo on Sunday, the former House Oversight Committee chairman said when the FBI listens in on phone calls or sends in an informant wearing a wire, then there's a transcript of that, and that one in particular has the potential to actually persuade people. In laying out a series of questions about the origins of the counterintelligence investigation into President Trump's campaign and the FBI and Justice Department handling of the operation, Gowdy listed a series of questions he thinks needs to be answered, including, quote, where are the transcripts, if any exist, between the informants and the telephone calls to George Papadopoulos? During Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian election meddling, Papadopoulos pleaded guilty to and was sentenced to 14 days in jail for lying to the FBI about his conversations with London-based professor Joseph Mifsud, who allegedly told Papadopoulos that the Russians had damaging information about Hillary Clinton, Trump's Democratic rival in the 2016 election. Stephen Halper, a Cambridge professor who was working with the FBI as an informant, and Azra Turk, a woman posing as Halper's assistant and using an alias, met with Papadopoulos in 2016 during the presidential campaign. Republican lawmakers who have seen the relevant documents believe exculpatory evidence related to Papadopoulos was not included in the FISA application targeting former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. Quote, if the Bureau is going to send an informant in, it's going to be wired, and if the Bureau is monitoring telephone calls, there's a transcript of that, Gowdy said. And some of us have been fortunate enough to know whether or not those transcripts exist, but they haven't been made public, end quote. Did you catch that? And some of us have been fortunate enough to know whether or not those transcripts exist. In other words, they exist, and he knows it. Gowdy knows it. But they haven't been made public, he said. Gowdy said one still secret transcript could be a bombshell. Quote, I think one in particular it has the potential to actually persuade people. Very little on this Russia probe, I'm afraid, is going to persuade people who hate Trump or love Trump. But there is some information in these transcripts that I think has the potential to be a game changer if it's ever made public, he said. Gowdy agreed with Bartiromo's, suggesting that the FBI had concealed relevant details about Papadopoulos from the FISA court, echoing the concerns that Representative John Ratcliffe, Republican Texas, has been expressing for months. Quote, yeah, John Ratcliffe is rightfully exercised over the obligations the government has to tell the whole truth to a court when you are speaking permission. I think he meant seeking. That's what it's spelled out, speaking. Seeking permission to spy or do surveillance on an American, Gowdy said. And part of that includes the responsibility of providing exculpatory information or information that tends to show the person did not do something wrong. If you have exculpatory information and you don't share it with the court, that ain't good, Gowdy added. I've seen it. Johnny has seen it. I'd love for your viewers to see it. The Justice Department's presentations to the FISA Intelligence Surveillance Court have been roundly criticized by Republicans, especially the FBI's reliance on the dossier compiled by British ex-spy Christopher Steele, who was being paid by the Clinton campaign and the DNC through Fusion GPS via the Perkins Coie law firm. Republicans say the FBI did not verify the dossier before it and the Bureau hid facts from the court. Republicans say that the FBI did not verify the dossier before using it and that the Bureau hid facts from the court, while Democrats have defended the FBI's actions. In October 2018, Ratcliffe said he had seen all of these documents and calling for Trump to declassify them. Quote, I can tell you, as a former federal prosecutor, my opinion is that declassifying them wouldn't expose any national security information, wouldn't expose any sources and methods, Ratcliffe said. It would expose certain folks at the Obama Justice Department and FBI and their actions taken to conceal material facts from the FISA court. The underlying pretext to the entire Trump-Russia investigation is this idea that George Papadopoulos, a Trump campaign associate, had a conversation with an Australian diplomat about getting Hillary Clinton's emails from the Russians. Hypothetically, if the Department of Justice and the FBI has another piece of evidence that directly refutes, that directly contradicts that, what you would expect is for the Department of Justice to present both sides of the coin to the FISA court to evaluate the weight and sufficiency of that evidence. End quote. But that's not what happened, he said. Quote, instead, what happened here was Department of Justice and FBI officials in the Obama administration in October of 2016 only presented to the court the evidence that made the government's case to get a warrant to spy on a Trump campaign associate. Declassification would corroborate what I just related to you, Ratcliffe claimed. Trump partially declassified the hundreds of pages of FISA documents related to Page in July 2018. Now that the Mueller investigation has concluded, and as Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horwitz's FISA abuse probe is reaching its end, Trump may begin to declassify more information. In April, Sean Hannity asked Trump whether he would fully declassify the FISA application's relevant Gang of Eight material, the summaries of the 302s, of interviews with witnesses, and more. Trump said he would. Quote, I'm glad I waited because I thought that maybe they would obstruct if I did it early. And I think I was right, so I'm glad I waited, Trump said. Now the Attorney General can take a very strong look at whatever it is. But it will be declassified in more than what you just mentioned. More declassification than what he just asked for. Trump has been promising action like this for nearly a year now. On September 17, 2018, the White House had said the President has directed the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and Department of Justice, including the FBI, to provide for the immediate declassification of the following materials. 1. Pages 10 through 12 and 17 through 34 of the June 2017 application to the FISA Court in the matter of Carter W. Page. 2. All FBI reports of interviews with Bruce G. Orr prepared in connection with the Russia investigation. And 3. All FBI reports of interviews prepared in connection with all Carter Page FISA applications. And Trump also ordered the public release of all text messages relating to the Russia investigation without redaction of James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and Bruce Orr. But he backed away a few days later. Quote, I met with the DOJ concerning the declassification of various unredacted documents. They agreed to release them, but stated that doing so may have a perceived negative impact on the Russia probe. Well, but hold on. The Russia probe's now over, isn't it? Catch that. Also, key allies called to ask not to release, Trump tweeted. Let me stop again. I wonder if those key allies were any one of the Five Eyes partners who were spying on him. So they were desperate. Please don't look at that. Don't declassify those. Don't declassify us spying on you, if you don't mind, sir. Therefore, the Inspector General has been asked to review these documents on an expedited basis. I believe he will move quickly on this, and hopefully other things which he is looking at. And what does that mean? What does that little nugget mean from Trump? And hopefully other things which he is looking at. In the end, I can always declassify if it proves necessary. Speed is very important to me and everyone, said Trump. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Everyone waiting. Oh, it's taking so long. It was taking so long, man. Stuff is getting done. It was all done the way it was supposed to be. Like Trump said, I'm not going to rush it. You know what? Yeah, man. Oh, they're still doing the Russian? They're doing the Russia probe? Oh, okay. I'll back off. Yeah, I won't declassify. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no problem. Now that the Russia thing is over and the obstruction is over, because there was none in either case, as QAnon has said, May 2019, the month we're in, get ready for the offensive. Get ready for the offense. And sure enough, I've been doing quite a few videos here lately, and looks like an offensive is in fact taking place. Just opening up the QAnon page, I'm not seeing any new updates since May the 12th. Today's the 19th, this evening. I was going to maybe read you a few, see if anything interesting was there. But it's not, so we shall just end it right here. Take care.